Hello guys, welcome back to another episode review of Eastenders for 31st October 2022. They could have given us a Halloween special, 1 hour's episode, but they didn't. Anyway, the episode felt long enough. It was 29 minutes, and we're going to talk about the whole Panasar situation. Ever since Suki's come back, I'm sorry, but it's just been doom and gloom. The way she's just treating Eve as well. Yeah, and then she's going back with Niche. These are the storylines I find very tedious and very boring and very long-winded. When, okay, we get Suki's in the closet, she doesn't want to come out, but please can you give the screen airtime to other characters who deserve it. You know, you got Lola on her kind of, with their life-changing scenario that something happened to her. You know, they're just literally showing Lola and Jay for like 2-3 minutes or 4 minutes of the episode and they're done. I'm sorry, but I just don't think EastEnders, they're providing accurate or consistent airtime fairly for the characters. It just seems to be very Panasar based now, even though it's just the same thing with them. There's not much developments happen very slowly with the whole Suki thing, breaking up with Eve in the park. It's just going back and forth, like, you know, 1 step forward, 2 steps back. I just do not like these kind of storylines, and I know they're trying to create some sort of like big in the end they might get together and it's gonna feel more worth it. Maybe they have experience in them kind of planning, but I'm sorry, they need to keep up with the time. It's not gonna work now because it's long-winded, especially nowadays in the 21st century, 2022. People want things fast-paced. You know, there's a whole reason why, you know, social media is like TikTok, 60-second clips, YouTube shorts. They're most viewed because it's just 60 seconds. I know it's an unfair comparison, but that's just the kind of world we live in now. Everything's just fast paced, and the fact that you're trying to long out a storyline with Suki coming out the closet, it looks like it's going to take years. So just leave that character alone. That's my opinion. And yeah, anyway, I mean they're all great characters, great actors, but I just think the people in charge who, you know, create the storylines, do the directing, they just need a word with themselves. Where do you honestly see going back and forth, dragging storylines, especially nowadays when everything's fast paced? It's not going to work, and it's not like it's something new. Someone's in the closet. It's not a new development. Whereas, like, you know, 10-15 years ago, that kind of storyline works because it's, you know, back then maybe things were slightly conservative, and obviously if you go more back, like 20 years ago, 30 years ago, more and more conservative. So now in this day and age, you're trying to play a character who's in the closet. Yeah, I get she's from a different background, but even then, you're not supposed to. I don't know. Even then, dragging out for this long, it just seems unnecessary. We're gonna talk about Alfie now, and him and Linda they get along like a house on fire. I just did not see that coming. Like, and I've noticed as well their personal interaction as well. Like, they just got this magic between Linda and Alfie. I don't know if it's just me, but they just seem to get along very nicely. Like, their characters, even in real life, it just looks like those actors, they got a bond. I don't know, or maybe that's just me, but we all know obviously Alfie Shane Ritchie is a great actor, and he's got this persona about him where he's jumpy and cheery, maybe just gets along with most people. But then again, I have noticed with Linda, they just seem to connect. I'm not saying that she didn't with Mick, but it just seems fresh with them, and it just seems like, you know what, they really get along, and maybe it's time for maybe they like each other, probably a time for a new leaf. I don't know. That's just my observation from them. And Kat's obviously watching from the sidelines. Looks a bit jealous and looks a bit like she knows exactly how Alfie works. His charm and everything can obviously have an effect on someone so easily. She's watching that literally across, and I just feel like she's jealous, and she made a decision to be with Phil, but obviously it's not fair. I just can see that storyline itching to come out where Alfie is probably maybe start a thing with Linda, but then Kat stops it in the end. I just think it's going to get messy. I think maybe it's time for a fresh start. Maybe directors will listen to us. He can still co-parent with Kat. That's not really a problem. Let's move on to Harvey now. His friends. I like his friends circle. He's got a mixture, really. He's got a Mitch and he's got Dottie as well, his new friend, and he's got Freddie. I like Freddie. He gets along with everyone. Freddie's a very likable character. They got him signed up on internet dating, and I just found it very interesting. And then obviously Jean walked past. She just happened to see what's going on, and obviously she kept looking back at Harvey. I think Harvey glanced over to her, but he was really interested in his online profile as well. Freddie teaching him the ropes. I just think that it's unfair on Harvey as well, because it just looks like Jean, she's a little bit jealous and looks like she might stop it in the end or something, or she might do something. She like as in, she doesn't have to do much. She might just show some sort of like half-hearted interest to Harvey, and Harvey will just drop everything and just to be with her. Unfortunately, that's just how it works. And I think it's the same scenario with Kat and Alfie as well. You know, all Kat has to do is just drop something like a hat or anything, and Alfie will pick up for her, meaning that the gesture just needs to be very small from Kat's side for Alfie to act and literally drop everything that he's got going to be with her. So I think if Kat senses that Linda's and Alfie, they're moving more close to each other, I think she might make a very, very small move for for Alfie to drop everything, literally, no matter how good it is, just to be with her. And I think that's the same situation that Harvey's in as well. Unfortunately, it's the Slaters that seem to be very persuasive when it comes to their men. Again, now that we're on Slaters, I just feel very sorry for Eve. I think she just needs to drop Suki. It's just getting. I know it's very emotional for her, but I think she's been used too many times, and not many people put up with it. So I just think she just needs to drop Suki, and that's it. And obviously Suki's kind of in a bit of a hole as well with Nish. He just seems a bit psychotic, that character. It looks like he's very manipulative. But again, I just don't want to see that another storyline like that where they're just gonna drag it out, and with especially Suki kind of damaging Eve along the way. Yeah, I'm fed up of these kind of storylines, especially with Suki. She's only been here 1 or 2 episodes after she's returned back from India, and already it's just gloom and doom episodes. The last is the ending where they found Ranveer's body, and Nina's reaction was pretty fake, to be honest. I think the police or someone, they might pick up on it, because obviously their reaction was a bit too not very shocking or not very selling enough. Anyway, guys, that's a wrap, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.